Chuck, I'm kind of thirsty, I'll be honest with you. I've been out there on the streets all day. You know, if you feel like maybe giving your immune system a charge, a nice, good tap will do the trick. And I know how to make tap straight fresh. You can make fresh tap? Mm-hmm. Totally from scratch. You get a nice, cool glass. Put it down over here. But you see, the thing about glasses these days is that they got to be sterilized. See what I'm saying? Hairspray. There we go. What I like to start off with is a little bit of gunpowder. Now, Charles, are you being serious that this is how municipal tap water's made? Oh, yeah. If you ever go to, Flint, Michigan or something, you can have sulfur water, things lighting on fire, you got egg water, you got all different kinds of stuff. So, you know, people are really used to this flavor. And you know what else they're used to? They're used to taking it in the ass. As in, they pay taxes and they get that water and they do nothing about it. They might scream a little bit and say, oh, our water is bad, but then they end up not doing very much. So it doesn't really matter. So I like to emulate that sort of, that sentiment of paying taxes, paying really high taxes and getting nothing in return, not even clean water.
Ahoy, tent pirates, plant parents, conscious consumers, and the morbidly curious. Welcome to Cultivation Conversation, a podcast for growers, by growers. Come chat with our hosts, Captain Autoflower, the Real Green Monster, and myself, Girl Go Grow. Grab a bouquet of your favorite flowers, apparatus of choice, and don't forget the fire while I tell you about the special companies that help keep this ship afloat. Busy people, and we demand the best for our plants, so all three of us automate our grows with Autopots. Available in over 63 countries, gravity-powered Autopot systems rely on no pumps, no timers, and no power to operate. This plant-driven automated watering is so precise, it will reduce consumption of feed while increasing yield. An effective and efficient way to delegate a little responsibility. Let your plants feed themselves. Use code CC10 at autopot-usa.com. If quality is the name of your game, look no further than AC Infinity. AC Infinity's grow tents, lights, accessories, and ventilation systems offer reliability and affordability along with total environmental control. Use code CULTIVATION on acinfinity.com to save even more. Frass Valley produces the highest quality superworm frass. Naturally strengthen your plants and enhance their resistance to pests and disease. Use code CC10 at frassvalley.com. We are big fans of mass hydroponics. Whether you're a local in Massachusetts or accessing their full online catalog, they are your one-stop shop for all of your growing needs. Use code CC10 at mass-hydro.com.
What is going on, everybody out there in podcast land? I am not used to that intro music at all.
It's very abrupt. Hello, my darlings. It is. It's very abrupt. It's like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
hello,
yeah,
we're on.
The music's off. All right. Click here. All right, we're live. Let's do it.
Fuck it, we're
live.
Yeah, we'll do it live.
Let's fucking do it. What up, everybody?
What up?
Happy Tuesday.
Yay, Tuesday. Hello, my darlings in the chat. How are you this evening?
I hope everyone is well. I hope your gardens are well.
Hey.
We shall discuss gardens this evening. That's one thing we do here. It's kind of the whole theme of the show tonight. Let's pretend like it's someone's first show. You know what I mean? Like it's their first time hearing us tonight. For all you people who've listened since the very beginning, I'm sorry. You're gonna hear things you probably heard 1,000 times, but we want to always be open and welcoming to beginners, guys. Keyword, beginner. Okay? When's the best time to start growing weed? Trick
Now.
question. It was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah. That's kind of the theme here. You know, like we want, that's point of the show is to encourage growing, even if you're not supposed to, as they say, you know, be a little covert sometimes, do what you got to do.
Vast majorities.
For sure. So like, let's pretend it's someone's first episode listening to the show. Let's pretend it's like their first or second grow tonight too.
Okay.
And they don't have any of these fancy auto pot gizmos or earth box, whoozy what's-its and fancy things. All you seasoned growers out there seem to love and rely on so much. And like, here I am, total noob, just like, oh, I got to hand water again.
Sips or die.
Right.
It's real easy to order auto pots.
We love our sips, man. And if you're gonna get sips, like, listen, we support Autopot. All three of us use them. We love them.
Code CC10. Save you some bucks.
I mean, really, I say I couldn't grow without them, but in reality, I could. Because
No, my plants would be dead without them. But that's just because my life is insane right now. Like, I do have the capacity and the capability to grow a plant without the autopots, but I choose not to.
Yeah.
Heard. 100%. But like, I went a couple rounds, maybe 4 or 5 without using them. 6, half a dozen, let's say. Having hand water only can be done, my friends.
In fact, it should be done. Before you graduate to a SIPS container, understand how a plant drinks, how to hand water in case something goes wrong. Like, just know the basics before you get into the fancier stuff.
Right? I absolutely encourage
smart.
that. But yeah, before we break that ice, let's do the rounds here, guys. What are you smoking on?
Oh man, we jumped right over that, didn't we?
Good.
P3, you go first. All right.
No. You tell me.
Smoking on some lemon fucking cava.
Lemon cava.
Haven't
People
heard that in a
wanting to hear
bit.
that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got? Like a secret stash or something? Or
Grow bags, man.
oh, nice.
Fucking love the grow bags. I haven't harvested lemon cava in probably 7 months. The shit feels like I just took it down yesterday. It's fucking perfect.
That's the one thing that grow bags are just spectacular at is long-term storage.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it's the only thing that they should be used for.
Yeah. You can't really throw like those little bags in your bag and carry them. I mean, you can, but you're going to squish your bud. Jars will never be replaced for that purpose, for me anyway. But for long-term storage, I'm sold on them. I don't have no fucking coupon code or nothing for you. They're expensive as shit, but I think they work really, really well.
Are they? Like, I thought they were just like a couple
shipping,
bucks per bag.
The shipping is insane.
The pound bags are like
really
$12 or something, $10. I don't even know. I'm not gonna lie. I've gotten a lot of them for free at like trade shows and shit like that. But I have purchased them with my own money, and I would do it again. Eventually, they kind of lose their vigor. I don't know, like they stop working
Efficacy?
as well. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Efficacy.
vigor.
I don't know. They just don't seem to work as well after
Feel that.
a little over
I
a
definitely
year.
agree. Mm-hmm.
Maybe that, but no, I like them. They just work. I've said it before. I was fucking super skeptical of this voodoo plastic that could keep my flower fresh, but it works. Just works. I don't even know how it works. It just works.
Cool.
It's one of those things I don't really need to look into. It's like, yeah, it works. Cool. I'm happy with that. Maybe I'll dive down the rabbit hole on how the fuck they're able to achieve that, but it works.
Don't really care. Care.
No.
It's got that terp lock.
Yeah, man.
Block
Like
system.
I told you, I was sold after Matt gave me that fucking like 5-6 gram bud in a pound bag, and I'd forgotten about it. Went through hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. I opened it up,
Yeah.
and fucking just like the day he gave it to me. Shout out to Mac Attack. I hope he's doing well.
Yeah.
We love Mac.
Haven't heard from him in a bit, but I'll
He's
come
off
back
doing his
anytime,
thing.
bud.
We miss ya.
tough being a
Me
male
too.
prostitute, you know? To travel around and fucking,
Here,
living
side
on the
note.
road.
We got I am certified old guy. Shout out. He says this is my first grow.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice,
dude,
man.
more power to you.
Congrats. That's
Absolutely.
such a wonderful feeling too.
What
Do
it's
you
all
remember
about.
that?
He says,
Your first
harvesting
grow?
his first auto in a few days.
Oh my gosh, that's the amazing part. When you're not waking up in the middle of the night
Exciting.
panicked about nitrogen.
Yeah, or overwatering and all this stuff that we will get into, that new growers panic about. It's nice to be
Everything.
on this home stretch and have prospect of smoking your first plant.
Yeah, man, you did it. You're
feeling.
halfway there.
Yeah, shout out, old guy. Welcome. G3, what you got?
Mango Isle, number 2. My second Mango Isle. There isn't like a Mango Isle number 2 strain. Mango Isle.
Yes,
But my second
I see.
Mango Isle.
Second
Yes.
pheno of the 10th.
The second. Yes.
So consistency wise between the two phenotypes, how similar are they? How different?
They smell more alike than their effects are alike. So I
Interesting.
definitely get the mango undertones in each of them. They smell kind of similar, but the effects are kind of different ends of the spectrum a little bit. Like number 2 is show worthy. Number 1 is not. Because she kind of just like conks me out and makes me kind of dumb. But this one's okay.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
It's funny how that works. I mean, effect wise,
So weird.
it's they just
It is.
differ
It's
in
strange, right?
effects.
Because like
But you would
very
think
different
because they
effects.
smell the same that like they would have somewhat of the same terpene and cannabinoid mixture. But it affects you just differently. That's odd.
I have no idea why. And usually plants are pretty consistent for me, but just that number 1 for some reason, I don't know, she just makes me kind of stupid. I don't like feeling stupid. So she's like a very end of the day type of thing.
Cool. Oh, well, yeah, that's kind of segs right into what I got today, which is my coveted Salmoso OG in the big nug jar.
Beautiful.
It is hard to describe just how big some of these nugs are. Yeah, and this is like a kind of perfect. If you could see the hygrometer in there, it's at 62%. These are big, dense, fluffy, not fluffy, but like they're big and dense nugs that smell like pine, a little lemon, gas, some earthiness going on, like an umami. And man, is she strong as fuck. Like, I would love to get this tested because whatever is going on in this, it might not be just THC like we've been talking about. Like, everyone that has tried this one has been like, yo, holy shit, that's like a little too much for me.
Wow.
Granted, most of the people I share with are little bitches, but
That's what I was just gonna say.
you know, they're dropping out like flies, and I'm just like, yeah, this is my shit right here. Let me light up another one, and they're just like, no, I'm done, you know. But I take that as like another pin in
It's
the
a big
cap.
compliment. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, man, if they're tapping out, you grew some good shit. You know, they're still pussies, but you know.
Truth, but that's, you know, makes your grower ego feel good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly.
You mentioned testing. That's actually something I think that we are truly missing as growers. I think that's like a huge missing part of being a grower, having
What?
access to testing for different
yeah, right.
levels of things to find out what's in your plants. What did I grow? What percentage is this? Oh my gosh, but then you'd have
Yeah,
people
you're
like
so right.
being obnoxious about their numbers, but it would be
Why wouldn't you be?
from a
Like,
non-social media
we're
standpoint,
already
it would
obnoxious
be
with like how beautiful our plants are, right?
So I
Yeah.
know Master Yoda has some sort of like home testing kit. Maybe you can, if he's still listening,
The,
you can
the
chime
T
in.
The
check?
T check. Like, I don't
I don't know.
trust
I haven't
this.
done enough research. I can just tell you this much: that kid does his research, so I'm guessing that it's probably a pretty good device. I
I'd
can't.
love to know what he's using.
I don't know. I can't speak on it. I haven't done any
Mm.
research. I don't even know what the fuck it's called. But in Massachusetts, we're pretty lucky. There's a bunch of places around here you can get tested. I've had stuff tested for joint. I wish I could tell you how much it was. I want to say it was either like 50 or $60 or something. But I mean, this is about a year ago. Was the last time I had it done. So I mean,
Yeah.
everything's.
What did
fucking
they
gone
give
up.
you? Just like major cannabinoids, or they give you a full terpene breakdown as well?
No, he got a terp breakdown. You can go on his website. Actually, I think he might have even posted what he got. I don't
That's
know.
neat.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I
would
mean,
be
G3, I
obsessed with
bet if
that.
you really look into it, I bet you it wouldn't be that tough to send a little sample away.
It
to one of these
surprises me that,
labs and-
that's not a thing that exists already.
It does more in legal
this
markets.
point.
I think
Yeah.
you'll see it in PA once or if you guys
Maybe I'm
end up-
just missing it because I'm, lost in prohibition land. But
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think because no one wants to like mail anything around here. It's just like, yeah, it's kind of a non-starter. But yeah, if we had access to kind of like a tool that would let you do it at home and gave you somewhat of, an accurate reading of at least ballpark of what's going on in your bud, that would be cool.
mm-hmm. If any of you guys listening at home have done anything like this, sending out to be tested, terpene profiles, stuff like that, or tested stuff at home, I would love to hear about it. So please come tell me.
Yeah, let us know. Come on and hop in the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know. But man, yeah, like, that's kind of like the strength of this Salmoso is just like I might smoke another one, maybe two during the show. These are like margaritas. You know what I mean? You got like a 2 is good, 3 is really pushing it.
Does she sneak up on you?
Oh yeah. It's super strong. Like and in like a almost a sedative kind of way, which is good. It's just really good nighttime weed. Relaxes. It's nice. So
It's a nice.
yeah. Always good to have one or two of those in the arsenal,
Oh
It'll
fuck
put
yeah!
you
You need
out
something to knock
above
around your house.
everything.
I keep Pure Michigan around just for that much. That stuff just fucks me up. Love that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me
even
really
though
stupid though. Like I straight up bump into shit and then everything. Like that's weed you smoke if you want to be useless.
Uh-huh.
Is it one?
It has to be for a very specific time of day. Like I cannot smoke something like that and then try it to adult. It's just it's impossible.
You're 100% right. I mean, when I loved it so much for the first couple months, and I wasn't getting a whole lot done during that time frame. I can just tell you that much. I thought I was, but you're just spinning your wheels. You're so fucking big, you know.
Funny.
And the best part though is when somebody cracks that jar and they're offended, like they step back and they look like, the hell is that? It's either a love.
What's wrong with you?
It's a love-hate thing. It's a love-hate thing. People either love it or hate it. There's really not much in between.
Bet you I would love it.
Pretty sure I left you a couple nugs when I came by.
Oh, I remember.
They still were a little fresh.
I remember. So yeah, shout out to Alabrije for the Salmoso.
Yep.
And
congrats on doing a killer job growing it, man.
Oh yeah,
killing you. Like that's no greater reward, right?
No, and I do think that's kind of all part of it. Like growing the plant well is like you get kind of the full expression of its terp profile, right? Like this probably just based on how it looked. I mean, it was super healthy its whole life. It was big. It faded perfectly, and like you could just tell like this one was gonna be killer smoke. It had everything it needed to produce everything it was capable of. So yeah, in order to some people will argue like, oh no, deficiencies and stress produce like more of this and more of that. And like, you know what? I push back against some of that.
I
Like,
never encourage people to fucking ride those lines. You got to really be a fucking know what the fuck you're doing. And too many people fuck around and find out and fuck up the whole crop. So you're better off just giving them
yeah.
what they need.
Yeah,
grow
baby
a
the shit out
really
of 'em.
healthy plant first.
Yeah.
And then start like if you want to like introduce some deliberate stress for certain reasons, like then we can talk. But I think it's people that just have yet to grow a healthy plant, trying to justify it.
Yes, I see it a lot. And
It's,
don't,
it's,
people try too many things at once too, it sounds arrogant and it's not meant to come off that way, but this shit really isn't that fucking hard. And I think people tend to overcomplicate it by trying to do too much. My buddy said this, the guy at the hydro shop said that, and a lot of times, like, people might think that this product is magic, right? Or that product is, but that could have been like their year limiting factor, like that really gave them improvement. And the other thing, even if it didn't, people love to justify their purchase by telling you to go out and buy this because they fucking did. You really don't need a whole lot, man. Just try to keep things simple. I think people overcomplicate things, and that's usually the downfall to new growers.
I'm glad you kind of brought back in those new growers, because like I feel like that's one of the big, like, people get turned off kind of immediately because like no matter where you turn, you hear something different. You know what I mean? Like, it's just everyone's got their different methods.
Mm-hmm.
That becomes apparent right away. But like as a new grower, you're just like, oh my God. So what's the right method? You know what I mean? How do I find my own path? It's challenging, man. Like, what I always like to tell people, we're starting out like right away. It's just like kind of find the community, find Instagram growers, maybe not Reddit growers. Let's be real. Find some Instagram growers who grow some nice looking plants, have a style that you want to emulate, and literally just copy them to start with. Like, get a stripped down version of like kind of their setup, like as much of it as you can. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Totally didn't do that at all. I
No?
researched the hell out of everything, and what felt right is what I tried first. What seemed like it would be easiest and most approachable and felt right. And then based on that, I found people that were doing similar things.
Okay.
But I definitely
agree.
I think emulating somebody else too much really ignores your own grow style. If you find somebody who has gorgeous plants and you love what they do, but they're using, salts or in cocoa and you don't necessarily jive towards salts, that's not really your style, or they're doing like hydro, which is probably too advanced for a beginner. It's
For
just,
sure.
You got to find out what works for you. I tried cocoa in the beginning and it wasn't my jam. Moved to soil, much better fit. It's gonna, you'll know after the first grow if you love growing or not. You'll probably know after the third or fourth grow what your growing style is starting to look like. But it takes a while. You got to fuck around and find out.
Yeah. Don't make too many changes at once, though. Like, after your first grow, and take notes, too. Like, I don't think I've talked about that much. I still take notes every fucking time I'm at the grow. 100%. Because I want to be able to go back and look if something didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. Especially with those fucking stupid fucking triangle Kush OG. Dude, that shit I've been battling for fucking the whole time. I was trying to keep it healthy. I thought I had a knack on it. And look, they're going to finish and it's going to be good bud, but I think I could have done so much better if I had, maybe done a few things a little differently. I don't, to be honest with you, I don't think they like the wet feet with the autopots at all.
Interesting.
I've had a couple of strains that don't really do well with that all-you-can-eat buffet type of method.
Johnny says ditch the influencer.
It's really easy to find growers that excel in specific styles. Like, if you think you want to try organics, come to our Discord and we can point you in the direction of some killer growers. If you want to try salts, awesome. If you want to try cocoa, cool. If you want to try hydro, GWC, cool. We could probably find
Yeah.
somebody who
Well,
does it real
I
well
think
for
you
you.
kind
We know
of
plenty of people,
you
so
hit on a big thing, like, which is just you got to figure out what method speaks to you first. That's a big decision. I mean, it's like when you are in the research stage, you come across all these different methods. You got to pick one.
Mhm.
One do you pick? You know, I think soil is the most forgiving, the most easy for a beginner to start with for specifically hand watering methods that don't require like any more additional setup and investment than quite literally, you buy a light, you buy a tent, you buy an exhaust fan, you buy a circulation fan, you buy soil. We mentioned
Mhm.
that?
Yeah.
Grow
Pots,
bags.
newts.
Yeah,
Pot,
pots,
a tray.
risers, trays, like all the stuff. You invest and like right away, I think you just want to pop a seed, get going, get your feet wet, jump right in. For me, that was just like buy a bag of soil at the store. I read that Happy Frog was a really good one to start with, and you know what? It
Is
was pretty good.
pretty good.
There were some really nice plants. Got some 5-gallon bags, fabric pots. You don't even need the fabric pots. Like, listen, you could drill holes in a bucket. You get it Home Depot.
Yep.
It could arguably, for an organic style, are a better than like a more of a evaporative type of fabric situation. Retains the water better. Yeah, listen, that method spoke to me, so I went with it, and I found it easy. But most importantly, it didn't need anything else. Like, I could grow the full round of the plant right away, from popping the seed to drying it, trimming it, smoking it, everything. You know what I mean? It wasn't until like I was at that like fourth grow, G3, like you said, or fifth grow, that I started thinking about like, you know what? Like, there's got to be more to life than this. Like, am I just gonna
I'm
just gonna
so sick of moving
am
water.
I just gonna be watering plants all day, every day
Ah,
for the rest of my life?
it is. You get real sick of hauling water after like a year.
Yes.
No more. You still haul water. It's just like once a week instead of every single day.
For sure. Now, water in general, one of the big things, I mean, obviously, like, you want to grow plants. Plants need water. You're going to have to give these plants water, as they
I think
say
of black
around
water.
us.
Black water every time you say the word water. Not because you say it
Water.
like him, but just the way he says it makes me laugh. Shout out to black water.
Plants need water.
Water.
And,
Well, I've never seen no plants grow out of no toilet.
they do. They do need water. But,
Mm-hmm. Specific water.
Specific, yeah, that's where I was getting at, G3. Specific water. pH.
Depends on what you're growing in.
It does, but it doesn't. It does, but it doesn't.
Wow.
We are talking to the new grower. You must check your water. Don't care where you're getting it. Check your water. I want to know what your pH is. I want to know what your ppms are.
In order to check your water, we do recommend you using a high quality pH reader, because if you put your trust in one of those yellow stick ones from Amazon, it will bite you in the ass. So I've had really good luck with my AC Infinity one. That's the one I've been using recently. I've used a Para
Wait a
before.
minute. AC Infinity has a fucking pH, bro?
They do.
Yes, and
They
it's
do,
actually
dude.
freaking awesome.
Yeah, it
Dude,
comes
the
in a
thing is
black
so
box.
solid.
It looks like the Apera box, but it's black.
Isn't
Yep.
it all in one like an Apera?
It is.
Does it do,
Yeah,
like,
it reads a whole
It
bunch
is.
of shit. Yeah.
how much is that thing?
I don't know off the
think
top
it
of
was
my
like
head, but it's
150
not super
bones.
pricey. No way. Absolutely
Wasn't it
not.
like the same price as the?
I don't know.
I
I've
don't
had
think
really good
so.
luck with the Aperas. I'd probably just stick with
I
that.
love
Could be wrong.
Apera. I've had 2 of them because I dropped my first one and shattered it. But really good luck. And Blue Labs is also high quality.
Well, use
So,
code cultivation.
Get a meter you can
Grab your-
trust. I'm gonna find out
Yeah,
how much this
but
AC Infinity one is.
For sure, grab a meter you could trust, G3. But listen, I got through my first couple grows damn fine with like one of these Amazon. Like I got 3 of them up in the
You
in the
can.
cabinet. Those yellow
Yes.
ones that are.
You gotta
like
have a standard to
$8.
check it though.
You can, but you need
$8.
something to check it. Either the dot strips, dip
Drops.
strips,
Get the
or the drops,
and the strips.
or
Yeah.
make sure you calibrate it often. When you get your pH meter, get calibration fluid as well if it doesn't already come with it, because you're going to want to calibrate at minimum
Yeah.
after every grow.
It's like I didn't even trust like the calibrated like. I always use those drops when I first started to double check the stick. Like it was just, man, it was always at that pool supply shop, just like
Man,
thinking I
this
was a
boy
lifeguard.
is really concerned about his pool water.
Exactly.
He must have a really nice pool.
Exactly. So yeah, that's a little, pro tip. Get those drops, but you don't need a great pH pen right away. That was like a thing that took me till my
$50.
Yeah, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. I would push back on that one because I've had those fucking yellow ones. I've owned a couple of them, and they'll work great for a little while, in a pinch.
For a little
but
while.
they'll give you a fucked up reading that will fuck you up eventually.
Yeah, they only last so long.
You
They
can buy a
It's a toxic
decent one for like
relationship.
$30 or $40 even. Like, just go down to your hydro shop, honestly, and talk to them, or be careful with Amazon reviews. You know what I'm liking about the new Amazon reviews? They have like a little AI section. When you click on that, it's a review by AI, and it will kind of just summarize like, oh, some people seem to like this, but others have said that the quality is poor. Or sometimes you'll see like, oh, reviews are great and nothing but positive things are said about it. And then you just kind of have to decipher. A lot of those reviews are fucking fake. I don't know if people realize that, but a lot of fake Amazon reviews. You got to kind of got to do a little research. Look for
sure.
one with like thousands of reviews, type of thing. Go with something like that. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money. Even
Sift
Apera
through,
makes
man.
like a budget pH pen for like, I don't know, I think it was like $40 last time I looked at it.
Mm-hmm. They're not too bad, but it's good to have one that you can trust, and then calibrate it regularly so you can continue to trust it.
Just important to check your pH, even if you are going this, the living soil route, and you chose that method because you heard from one of your buddies like, I don't need to pH my water at all. I just dump it right in the reservoir and let those microbes buffer and do all that magic. Like, all right, fair point. Like, I don't always pH my water every time I feed my plants. However, I checked my water source first, and I do that kind of periodically just to make sure that like they haven't really fucked with it through the seasons, which they can do sometimes.
Mine
Heads up.
changes between summer and winter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most people's will.
Mhm.
So, Howling, I hear you, man. I ain't scared of no pH, he says.
It's a tool.
Yeah. Listen,
Really?
you don't have to be scared of it, and your microbes will handle it, blah blah blah. But if you want your your plant to wait, 2 or 3 days for your fucking microbes to figure shit out before it gets what it needs, that's cool. But you want to at least like look, if you're even in soil, you want to be under 7, and I can guarantee fucking to you, most people's tap water is way above 7. Johnny made a good point though. If you're in soil, where's all that acid going from the pH down? I don't know. I mean, eventually, I imagine it'll just wash out. You're not really using a whole lot. Um,
How
I'm not
much of
sure
your
on that one.
soil?
I can't really answer
Where's
that
all
question
the acid
definitively.
going that you're adding to adjust your pH? What do you mean, like your dolomite lime?
Oh well, whatever. Like your pH down. You know. I think that's what he's
Gotcha.
referring to.
Gotcha. I mean, I don't know, Johnny. I think it just kind of like at some point becomes inert.
Yeah, I imagine it has some sort of
Um,
Yeah,
half-life or
not a
especially
whatever.
like
scientist.
depending on what you use over time, at least in mine, I do use pH down in like my res, and over time it'll shift back up. So I imagine that the
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it is that's keeping it just becomes inert over time.
for sure. Um, so again, let's stick with water.
Water.
Here's new growers like chlorine, chloramine, this type of stuff. That's something we got to worry about.
That's a
I
loaded
don't think
question.
usually if you're on city water, I don't think so. But you can test
Chloramine,
your water and
yes.
find out.
Chloramine, I think, is more of a problem. It's not really used
They
as
don't use
frequently.
it that commonly though. Like
No,
it's
it's not.
super rare
It's
in the United
infrequent.
States.
Chlorine you can evaporate within 24 hours, and you don't even have to really bubble it. People say you can bubble it, but and the other thing is that buy a cheap fucking carbon filter for your garden hose or whatever, and you can connect your garden hose to your sink with a $5 adapter.
Yeah, could do
Yep.
that.
And there you go. You're gonna filter out most of the chlorine that way. And look, I know people that don't. I've even set up shit for people that don't. I don't think it makes that big of a difference. People seem to make a really big deal about it. As somebody who had fish with fish tanks, it's a huge problem. But with plants, I don't see it. I don't see it being that much. Chloramines in Chicago water, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Hmm. Oh shit. Well, for chloramine,
There ain't much you can do.
What do
I
you
mean,
gotta do?
Can you filter it?
you just-
probably not without RO. There are, I think there's some stuff that neutralizes it.
filter it.
No,
I'm sure.
See,
We just go buy water from like Walmart at that
there
point.
is stuff to neutralize it. Yeah, you could just do that. I hate fucking buying filtered water. Have you ever drank like filtered water from a bottle? It tastes
Yeah.
like, dude, I feel like I can taste the plastic in the bottle
Oh,
almost.
Yeah,
It's just like that's all you're tasting.
probably
you know?
can. There's more like parts per million of plastic than there is of.
I think you're
Sodium.
just particularly sensitive to that taste, Mazda. Because you said
Yeah.
that you can taste like silicone too when you're hitting.
Yeah, I do have
unbreakable
sensitive
bonds and
taste buds,
stuff.
and
So I wonder if to that you're very sensitive.
maybe I drink a lot of water, and I'm kind of like a water snob. I am. I like good quality water, and if you're gonna buy bottled water, in my opinion, there's really only one to buy. It's fucking Poland Spring. To me,
yeah.
it just
The
tastes the
OG.
best. Not just because it's from New England,
OG.
but just because I think it's the best. I've tried a lot of other waters. I like Fiji too, but I ain't paying you $4 for a fucking bottle of water. It's just not
But they're
happening.
square.
Yeah, you're a square if you fucking pay the $4 for a fucking bottle of water. How's that? I treat myself every now and then at a convenience store. You're on the road, whatever you see, like, I'll grab a fucking bottle.
Yeah.
But like, no, to drink that shit. I try to fill my own water, like water bottles on the road. The problem is it's kind of impractical because I literally I'll drink over a gallon a day, especially on a hot day if I'm working outside. You can't really carry
sometimes
around
you
a gallon of fucking water.
Gotta stop and get a big water from the Wawa.
Yeah, Wawa. Get your water, Wawa at Wawa.
Water at the Wawa.
Yeah, high quality H2O.
Is indeed, man. Now, how about fluoride, man? We gotta worry about that with our plants, like we do our pineal
I can't answer
glands.
that question. I don't know. I would assume no because, much like chlorine or chloramine, I haven't seen people having too many issues with
No,
it.
I mean, and I think it's actually increasingly rare in the United States these days, but man, not a good like history with industrial waste product that is fluoride being put into drinking water. It's good for your teeth, though.
That shit makes me sick, literally. Like the fluoride treatment at the dentist, it makes me sick. Can't.
Really?
Yeah, like it makes me not super nauseous, and I guess it's common.
Dude, with the tray. Oh, that was terrible.
Ugh.
Yeah, I can puke right now thinking about that shit.
Oh,
Please
that's what made
don't.
everyone's third eye close up and crust over.
Ugh.
Reject fluoride treatments. Official CC stance.
Yeah. Exactly. Government.
Yeah, brush your teeth without, you can get the anti-fluoride stuff too if you're worried about that, honestly. I did that for a long time. No cavities.
Long time.
For real. Good teeth, just use something to brush. Make your own toothpaste if you need. Baking soda.
Mhm.
A little ammonia.
Ammonia.
Excuse
Just
you?
playing. No.
I was gonna say, what the fuck? Brush your teeth with ammonia?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Now, all right, we're going to stick with the water thing for a minute because, all right, I'm a new grower. Like one thing I've heard, above all else, I've heard so many times, don't overwater your plants. You overwater your plants, no bueno, right? Like it's a cardinal sin of being a new grower.
Simultaneously, don't underwater your plants.
I've seen the other way,
100%.
but it's usually overwater first.
Yeah, of
People
course.
wanted they overlove, they helicopter the thing, they overlove it, they water it every fucking day when a lot of times, especially in the early stages, it just doesn't need that.
Okay. I'm glad you mentioned that. Water them every day. Okay. Like, especially in soil, especially early in life, plants don't need much additional water than like what's already in the soil. Like if let's assume like you saturated it and then kind of let it dry back a little bit before you plant the seed, let it like acclimatize to the tent. It's like at 80% saturation. Perfect. You pop the seed in there. You got like a week's worth of moisture before you have to do fuck all.
Yeah, because it's
Okay.
not drinking next to anything.
Yeah, how much water you should give your plant is a function of how big the pot is and how big or small the plant is, right?
And your environment. I almost like cringe when people ask me how often do I water, because it's like, I can't tell you that, man. It's a fucking loaded question. All I can tell you is when you saturate that pot, pick the fucking thing up, get a feel for how heavy it
Bingo.
is. And when it's dry, pick it up, get a feel for it. Now, obviously, this is going to change as the plant gets bigger, right? But you can still, I mean, you can stick your fingers in the soil. Like, there's multiple different ways.
Yes.
But don't overwater and don't underwater either. I kind of like, I don't know if you can sense the tone of my voice. I kind of get aggravated with it because I just feel like it's not that complicated.
It's not, but listen, it's not complicated, but it's nerve-wracking.
There is a little bit of misunderstanding about overwatering, I feel. In
I
that
agree.
overwatering in general, at least in my mind, does not refer to how much water you give at one time, but how often you give that amount of water. So you can feed a lot of water through a plant if you want to, a lot of water through that pot. It'll just drain out the other side.
Like one event of just like
Yeah.
too much water. Let's say you overwatered in this one event and it just like, it all just poured out the bottom of the pot into the saucer it was in and then flooded into your tray. Like, oh, oops. Now you got to clean up your mess.
Right, now you got to wait also. Like now your thing is completely saturated. You have to
Yes.
wait till it's not saturated again.
However,
overwatering occurs when you do not wait until it needs it again. It already has enough water and you're giving it more.
Yeah.
So that second action of giving it the second serving of water, that's the overwatering. Not necessarily giving it a shit ton of water in the first place.
And it's a lot easier to do in the beginning, right? Because when a plant's fully established, especially deep in flower, next to impossible to overwater. You'd really have to be fucking drowning those things. Even in soil, they're like a 5 gallon pot. They're gonna fucking deep in flower. They're gonna drink close to a gallon a day, easily.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Well, it's amazing how fast that
Resin.
turns, like once they are growing and established, you might find, depending on your volume of soil or even like your medium too. Like let's say you're a cocoa grower and you're using like 2 gallon pots or something. Like, sometimes I see people even using these 1 gallon pots. Dude, you are gonna be watering them by hand 5 times a day at that point, like in full flower. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If you want to see like the full cocoa effect and like high frequency fertigation, all that good stuff you hear about, you better be willing to be up there watering 5 times a day.
I think that's a good thing, though. I'm a firm believer in as many wet dry cycles as you can get, even with soil. That's why I would encourage soil growers to use fabric pots. Um, you want the more cycles, the better in a plant's life, especially with an autoflower. Fuck, the thing's only gonna be here for less than 90 days, and most of them anyway. And shit, you want to get the most you can. The more wet dry cycles you get, I think the better, even in soil.
I like
More
that.
the merrier.
I like that. I mean, the more times you can water it, like as a soil grower, you know, I always thought too, like the more times I could water, the more inputs I could add. I didn't have like living soil, but I was trying to do the organics in like a smaller container. Difficult. You got to like continuously add stuff. So the more you can water, the better, essentially. Right?
Yeah, and Howland kind of hit the fucking nail on the head. I mean, look, that's why I like autopots because they'll drink way more than you'll ever give them. I've had 12 plant rooms, drink 20 gallons in a fucking
Yeah.
day. And that's no joke. Like, and I would never feed them that much, but they fucking drank it, right? And plant's the boss. So,
True, but
Because they can just continue doing that wet dry cycle all
yeah.
day and all night and all day and all night, regardless of your
Yeah.
schedule.
And look, even if you don't want to spend the money on autopots, you can set up a pretty simple automatic watering system with a fucking tote, a pump, a timer, and a check valve. You'd probably do that for less than $100, and you can fucking automate your watering. Automation really is the key, in my opinion. Like even, plants love consistency, right? And the more consistent you can be about giving them what they want, the better. Even if you're hand watering, fucking put that shit on a timer. Give them this, just be
oh
consistent
yeah,
about it. They're
I
not
dude,
stupid, man. They
there's
like
something to that.
consistency.
If you're, I mean, and I'm glad you said hand watering because that is the kind of the theme tonight. Like, we love automation, we love it. I'm just gonna be real, man. New growers ain't gonna have that 90% of the time, not probably more. Just gonna be watering by hand. They need to know these techniques. It's crucial. Especially even for house plants, man. This is stuff like that you can apply all across the board for growing like just stuff in general, man. Again, like G3 said it one more time for people in the back. Overwatering is not about giving them too much water at once. It is about coming back and giving them more water again.
Well, I
Where
think
they need it.
Not
if
too
a
much,
plant's
too
really
often.
young, you can overwater it once and kill it. I've seen people do that, especially when
Yeah.
they're young. You, you, I like to try to water the around the plant, like the perimeter of it. Try to get those roots to reach out and find the water rather than just kind of like completely saturate them. I
If
think
you
that's
consider the as above, so below theory, your roots are going to be out just a little bit further than the tips of your leaves are. So if you circle like right beyond the tips of your leaves, then those roots will be almost there and then reaching out to that water even more.
a great tip.
For sure.
Yeah, G3 with another just a tip.
She's on fire tonight, man. For real. Unbelievable. All right, Stoney makes a great point. I guess he's talking about with sips and autopots, then each plant can take what it needs rather than just watering each pot the same.
That's the other thing, though, which reminds me, if you're going to hand water, especially your plants in like the corners and things, they're not going to drink as much as the other ones. You got to be mindful of that.
Each plant is an individual.
Yeah.
You know what would be cool, man? If they had like a measurement on each individual autopot valve, like how much water has gone through that one.
That'd be pretty cool.
In each cycle.
That would be cool.
And then you could like reset it. Because I'm interested sometimes. I know like the one in my back right is always like the slow poke of the bunch. You know what I mean? It's like
you yell at
near
it
the
and tell it
fan.
to get his shit together.
Yeah, it's just not an ideal part of the attic to be in. It's the part that I can't access. The hardest for me to access. It's right next to the fan. There's all these reasons why that plant always sucks. But I bet you it drinks way less than the others. Always. I'm just curious.
Yeah, probably. The ones that aren't directly under the light will. It's just kind of the way it goes, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know.
That's just. I'd be interested to know. You know, just like each cycle, and timing wise too. Like in certain weeks, like there could see like how many gallons went through the autopot valve this week. Like holy fuck. This one's chugging away, you know.
I know you could probably set something up. I'd have to do some thinking, like maybe some sort of flow meter or something. I don't know.
Right.
Be expensive though.
Side thought. I'll talk to Luke. But again, hand watering. Like
what about water temperature? Does that matter?
Yeah, you definitely don't want it too hot or too cold. But too hot is more of a problem, I think.
What's ideal? I mean, room temperature.
Room temperature.
Yeah, room temp's fine. You don't
a little cooler than room temperature.
Yeah, you don't want to get too warm, especially with like any type of automated watering. You're gonna end up with issues in your lines, bacteria growth and all that stuff. Loves water above 70 degrees. So,
I think I heard somewhere that around 60 to 65 degrees was where they like to be the most.
Well, that's the ideal saturation.
Another 60.
That's the ideal saturation for oxygen. But yeah, like too cold, it can be a problem, but that's pretty hard to do, especially this time of the year. Your water's not coming out super cold, but in the wintertime, your water is coming out fucking cold as fuck.
Yeah.
And you definitely don't want to be watering them with that. You don't want to warm that shit up a little bit.
And shock them. Isn't that like an old school grower technique? Like, oh, I give my plants ice water.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know how effective
week
that would be.
Oh yeah, to convince them that it's the rain and stuff is significantly colder, so that means it's winter outside.
Time
so therefore
die.
they turn colors.
Yeah,
the goal of that is to make them senesce, right? Or finish faster.
I
always heard it was to make them senesce.
Torture.
Abuse
make them
your
feel
plants.
pain. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's to encourage them to like ripen. Yeah, that's the thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thought anyway. I don't know.
So how about any oh, here, I'll get you off there, Stoney. Get you off the screen, I mean. Let's assume we are a new grower. What are some other hang-ups, some like myths, when you were a new grower, what was like the hardest thing for you? That's my question.
Leaving it the fuck alone.
Well, somebody had mentioned at the beginning that they're a new grower and they were extremely worried about the dry and cure. The growing thing for me was pretty easy. I started with DWC.
That's where I was actually going to go.
But I came from a fish tank background, so I don't recommend you start with DWC. That's probably not your best way to start. But I fucked up the dry on my first grow really bad. And I was bullshit. And I made sure that was never going to happen because I was so happy with the flower. Like, smelled amazing. It was fucking sticky. And then it dried in like, I don't know, probably 3 days. It was a long time ago. And it was
Oof.
fucking, it was hay. I couldn't give the shit away.
Mm.
And nor did I even want to. I was embarrassed. So, yeah.
Hate when that happens.
I think that's the biggest thing that the new growers fuck up with is the dry. They don't even consider it. You talk to people, even in our Discord, people that have popped in new grows, right? Yeah, well, have you thought about the dry yet? Oh shit. I feel like everybody, spends all their time, energy thinking about the grow. They got a badass setup, right? And then they haven't even thought about where they're gonna fucking dry the shit.
Ugh, because drying is boring.
It is boring, but you can take
It
a
is.
fucking 10 and turn it into a 1 within like
No,
a couple
that's
of
the
days.
catastrophe of it.
You got to have a plan. At least. You have to have thought about how this is going to happen. Like, you do not just like chop a plant and turn it upside down in the same tent that you grew it in
Oh,
and
please
like
no.
flip a switch. I mean, listen, you can. I'm not saying don't do that, but like it doesn't magically turn the environment from perfect for a living plant to perfect for drying plant. Like there is a kind of a challenge to that, especially for a home grower who just doesn't have like professional equipment in a perfectly spec'd room, of course. Like for me, you got to like take advantage of where it's cool in your house. Like I mean, I always dry in my basement, Takes less energy to cool a tent down there. Get it down to those temperatures, right?
Basements are great as long as they're
Year
dry
round.
and not musty. They're fucking awesome. A great place
Sure.
to dry your herb.
But yeah, that's a great point. I have a dehumidifier always running down there too. Then knock on wood, nice and dry. So hopefully it stays that way.
Because your
But-
buds will absorb that odor, I promise you. I have a friend, I'm not gonna call him out, he knows who he is. He grows really good flower and then he dries it and it always tastes like his basement.
It's basement terps. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yep.
Oh no.
Yep. It's sorry, it's just the way it goes. If you have a musty basement, your bud will absorb that odor.
Yeah, same type of thing if you like dry in a cedar closet.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I tried that with one plant on like my second grow, and she definitely had a distinctly piney, cedary taste
All
to
right.
her.
What if you like cook bacon near your drying herbs or like?
I think it
like
has to
a
be more long term
really
than that. If you do
really
it hours
strong,
every
like,
day,
Indian
you set
food.
up like a George Foreman in the bottom of your dry tent, then sure, you can probably get bacon terps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like infused meat terps if
Oh,
you think they're
God.
lacking.
This reminds me of a fucking argument I had with somebody on Reddit years ago. They posted a question on what they can do to increase the terpenes of their fucking weed by like with essential oils, and I was like, just stop.
Essential oils.
Yeah. Yeah. No, look, your herb's a sponge. Like, I've seen people fuck
Yeah.
up their shit with air fresheners, like, too close to the drying product because they're worried about smell, right? So, and then like you can just taste that shit in the end product.
Oh,
Yeah,
like,
man.
like new car
Yeah, or
terps.
like
Oh, my
popular one
God.
is like ozone gel, Ozium, all that shit. Shout out to Ozium. That's a great product if you guys haven't ever used that. That's a really good product if
Oh,
you
we
want to
got the
cover up smell.
spray. It is great.
Yeah, they have the spray and then they have the gel cans. The
Um,
gel cans work great. You can just place them around, the outside of your grow, and they will take that nose away.
Mm.
Because the nose is gonna smell the first thing closest to it, and that Ozium just gives you that nice clean, like I don't know, I call it like hospital scent. Like it's just fucking clean,
Hear that? All right, here we got a question. Death Index. Howdy. He says, question, intake fans and their speeds. Not sure if I should have it blasting or low, and how the fan speed affects VPD and humidity.
I don't know,
All
man.
right,
That's
so
kind
then-
of it's a
Good
loaded
question.
question.
Yeah, it
Really, it
is.
kind of just depends on your environment. In most cases, you don't need an intake fan. How about that? Um, you certainly can
Great,
have
great
one.
point. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just assume he means exhaust fan. Like it's the fan that's going to bring air into the tent as well as exhaust it. Most people just use one, right?
Yeah, I use a passive intake because I'm pulling all of the air out of my tent. So,
Yeah. If your walls are being sucked in on your tent, I promise you, you don't need an intake.
Mm.
You know, like you got enough negative pressure that, and somebody mentioned that in the comments. Negative pressure is going to help you if you have a smell issue. 1,000%. You want a little bit of negative pressure, but
a little bit of negative pressure. That's the key. Little
yeah,
bit.
yeah, you don't want that
If
tent to look like you're sucking through a straw. Seen that before.
Yeah. So, like, I always have my fan speed on. Like, depends. Honestly, I usually have it on 5, but I've since ramped it up to 7. Being summertime, I'm finding that it's struggling at times to bring that, like, to act as both the exhaust and the intake. You know what I mean? And to maintain a low humidity in that tent and bring in like that dehumidified air, it's having issues. So I had to ramp it up. I'm at 7 right now.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't
So the
think you
higher-
should.
Go
Go ahead, G3.
I was just gonna say the higher your fan speed is, the more your tent environment is going to be like your lung room.
Yeah.
So whatever environment your tent exists in, because you're constantly exchanging that air with the outside, they're going to be pretty much the same inside and outside the tent. If your fan is lower, or if it's on auto where it's only going to kick on when you hit a threshold, a humidity or temperature, your inside environment is going to look really different than your lung room. If you have plants in there, especially flowering plants, your humidity is going to be a lot higher.
All light.
Your temperature is going to be a lot higher because your light is just sitting there heating everything up. And if that air is just sitting there, absorbing all of that moisture, absorbing all of that heat, it's going to look very different than what's in your lung room. So really, you change your fan speed to match what your plants need.
Yeah,
It's a
Great.
balancing act.
definitely. But don't look for a numerical value from anybody. That's going to be based on your environment, your grow, and if you're trying to dial in temp and humidity based on fan speeds, you're doing it wrong, because you may be able to dial it in for like a couple hours. It's going to change with ambient temperature. Um, you know, you want to have a minimum speed, right? Or a maximum speed, either or whatever. But you want to have that regulated by some sort of probe. And even a new grower, I would fucking strongly discourage you from even starting if you're not automating your exhaust temperature. And I'm not telling you to go out and get AC Infinity. There's like a 70 million different ways to do it without AC Infinity.
Yo, Vivo, son.
Even fucking Vivo. Yeah, we should probably
Right,
talk about
listen,
that, because
I checked out their full catalog because I thought I had like a $368 credit on their app the other day.
Oh
So
my God.
I'm a little bit out of the loop on this one. I saw some rumblings about it. I don't exactly know. Like there was a coupon. Did anybody actually get goods that they got with this, or?
I
don't
heard
think
that some
anyone-
people's were shipped out. I do.
For
This
real?
is all. This is all gossip hearsay. But I heard that the first few orders actually did ship. It was open from like. So for anybody who missed
interesting.
this, on the Vivo Sun app, for a period of about 7 hours, there was a coupon code where if you clicked it, it gave you $360 some dollars.
368, I think.
$368 off
Seems
your
a
cart,
random number.
regardless of what was in it.
And like
So,
some
like-
cents too. I think it was like the most random number ever. It was. You were just
I
like,
don't know how it happened, but like you could throw a full huge ass light in your cart, put in your address, no credit card or bank information needed,
Yeah,
and hit
and-
buy,
and
they'd
would
like,
say,
okay, it's coming
confirm.
to you.
You know, it would say that, but like it was just. I mean, come on, like, come on.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
seriously
so-
doubt
really
anybody
think-
got any of those goods. And if they did, prove me wrong. Send me some fucking actual screenshots that
Listen,
aren't photoshopped.
I will say though, had they just bitten the bullet and like I don't know how much in USD. What's the USD value of all the goods that were purchased in that like less than 24-hour period before like someone posted it on Reddit?
It had
before
thousands
they
and thousands and
shut it down.
thousands and thousands.
Yeah, who cares? Like, you know how
Right,
much
they
money
make
that
like
company made last year?
millions.
A lot. You know how much goodwill and like lifelong brand loyalty that would buy in the community if they just said like, fuck it, ship it all out.
They
It would've been
did
awesome.
in order to
Just saying.
fix things. They did offer a coupon code for I think it's $150
Yeah, they
off
did.
any cart over
For sure.
368 or
I
whatever.
ripped the shit out of Vivo before. I think a lot of their
Listen.
products are just absolute garbage. However, they sent me their 100-watt light a couple years ago. I was super impressed with the build quality on that thing. I never ended up using it. Brack won it on one of our shows. I sent it out to him. So I imagine they make a decent light. I mean, I was kind of impressed with that little 100-watt light. The build quality
For
on it was
sure.
actually
Listen.
really cool. Like it looked nice and everything. So.
I went through their whole catalog last night, and like while I thought that coupon was live, I was like, what am I gonna do with my one-time like $368 handout? I wonder. And I went through all
Felt
their
like a
equipment.
stimulus check.
I know, it was right. I'm getting my Vivo bucks.
Yeah. Grower
great.
stimulus check.
Wouldn't that be nice, man? Everyone needs a grower
Too good to be
stimulus
true.
check. Vote for me. I promise. Grower stimulus checks.
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome? So in my perusing of their new equipment, I was honestly really impressed. I'm not gonna lie. Like they've done full redesigns of everything. It's got all new look. Like it's kind of sharp looking. It's they're going for that AC Infinity vibe. Like
Yeah.
you know,
I bet
It
you
might
they're even made in the
look
same
like
factory.
it. How about quality wise though?
I wonder.
Anybody know how
I'm
decent
curious.
VivoSyn is these days? Because I heard a lot of stories about like collapsing tents and
I'm curious,
Things.
but
Yeah, I
listen,
think their tents are garbage. I mean,
Fire.
unless they've
they have
updated
a
those.
lot of stuff on that website, and like I'm just
Mhm.
saying, like I think
they had like bongs and stuff on there.
Really?
Like
they
everything.
have
Yeah.
a lot
Like
of stuff.
chainsaws and hedge
Man. Yeah,
clippers.
chainsaws,
and
like collapse,
like serious outdoor stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
garden
collapsible wagons.
Wagons, yeah.
I was like, oh man, I should have ordered one
I
of
was
those.
ready
They
to
throw their
grab
name on
that
anything, huh?
with my Vivo.
They are really
bucks.
trying to be like AC Infinity.
Listen,
Fucking
yeah,
throw
for
their
sure.
name on anything.
And listen, I'm glad, like I've said, I'm glad that there is like a competitor, so to speak. Like, yeah, it's kind of like the maybe lesser quality, but same kind of thing, like one-stop shop for all your growing needs. But like, I don't know, man. We need a cheaper alternative to like the bougie Apple store of grow products. Just being real with you. Like sometimes you don't have $200 to buy a fucking 4-inch exhaust fan. Just don't. But you need one. Real talk, right?
100%. I think Spider
So-
Farmer makes one too, don't they?
Yeah,
Don't
dude,
they make
there
an
you
AC
go.
Infinity clone light. I mean, clone
Spider
fan.
Farmer.
Probably just as
Think-
good. Look, I
think
keep it real with you. I think
Mars
AC
is pretty
Infinity
good
makes
now, too.
some good products, but I don't think everything they make is fucking the greatest thing since sliced bread, and a lot of it isn't even unique, you know. However, they were the first with a lot of shit. Like, dude, as far as like a
Okay.
fully automated fan with all those controls, that's pretty fucking cool. And
First
it
to
wasn't-
market's always great, but like that doesn't mean like the competitors can't be as good, if not better, when they come out. And if you look at the new exhaust fans from like we just mentioned, Vivo, Spider Farmer, Mars, they all look remarkably similar, man. They even have their own, like, smart system and all that kind of stuff where you can, like, plug other appliances into them, and it's just kind of sharp looking. Just saying. Cheaper alternative, might be made in the same factory.
Yeah, that's how a lot of this Chinese stuff is. I mean, look, don't kid yourself. A lot of it's made in China, and a lot of it's made in the same factories, and it's the same thing with every fucking industry you can think of. Like I mentioned last week, guitars. Go do some research on where your brand name guitar is fucking built. You'd be shocked. There's really only a dozen or so like real companies out there, factories making guitars. And they'll make your guitar at night and the day, and then make a different one at night.
Yeah.
With the same fucking shape and everything, and sell it under a different label.
Dishwashers, microwaves.
Yep.
Laundry machines,
Everything.
dryers, toasters, refrigerators, literally everything. You're right.
Welcome to capitalism.
With late stage capitalism, G3, there's a difference.
End stage.
You used to have a choice, right? Now it's just you're deceived into thinking you have a choice, but no, it's just you're buying it all from the same company, no matter what. Oh, that's a different show, you guys. Different show. Oh my God, we're an hour and 10 minutes into the show.
It flew, and all we talked about was water.
That is just mind-boggling to me. Oh my God. All right, real quick. We're doing a little raid here. Going.
It smells like we gotta call CC Dan over here. Hold up. We're coming in.
All right. We're in. I think. Oh, we're in. K-Pop's Garden. What's up, K-Pop?
Hey, Pizzy.
We're
Live.
here.
We got.
Let's see some beautiful plants.
Look at
Ooh.
this crazy setup. I know, this is why I wanted to show this. I
Fucking
love this, like, inventiveness here. Love what I'm seeing. He says, just to be clear, he's got a joint, PB and Cray. Keep that strain in mind, you guys. He's got a blueberry Chardonnay and Star Fuel. I assume those are all from joint.
Fuels from joint.
Blueberry Chardonnay has to be too. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
He says a cherry pie and a slurry burry. Look at this, like, crazy scrog he's got going on. What is that?
They're cute little trees. Look at them.
That's
Beautiful.
just some looks like some steel framing. I can't tell.
Yeah, dude. I wonder where he picked that
Wonder
up.
if he made
and just
that.
Decided to put it to use, or if he made it. I wonder. Just hanging it from the ceiling, using some of those, like, what looks like those straps
ratchet
you get
hangers.
with a light, right?
Ratchet hangers are fucking awesome, man.
I know, dude. Yeah, no, Monster. I would love, like, we need a segment of, like, a new use for a ratchet hanger every show.
Oh, dude, I hang everything with ratchet hangers. I just love them.
All right, well, next
great.
show, I want something around the house you're doing with your fucking spare ratchet hangers, because I got a drawer full of a dozen at this point. Wouldn't that be fun? Get a little like audio clip for that too. Like it. All right. K-pop back. I think that's kind of like a DIY earth box. Not really sure though. Perhaps we will find more clues. Go. Looks
So
very
many different shapes.
DIY. Yeah, I'm even, like, looking at these lights now. Like, I wonder what's going on here. Go to a new picture set.
Ooh.
Little tent.
Says this is chopping today. Blueberry terps, his first, and he is amazed. Yeah, aren't they
It's
something,
just like
man?
Spears.
Yeah, he's got a lot
It's a
going on.
Plant taking up a whole tent
Swords
pretty
of
much,
flower.
right?
So pretty.
Look at these trees. I know.
Beautiful.
They got clean legs on them too. That's one thing, man, that I am impressed with is your lollipopping. You went up not, you know, just far enough. Maybe about halfway up the plant. One thing I always struggle with is like I don't lollipop enough.
It hurts me to do it, but I
Right.
do like what it looks like afterwards.
Yeah, a lot of that lower shit's just gonna be larf. You might as well get rid of it.
Did a really good job with that. He looks like he's growing in soil. Like again, I kind of look. I mentioned like a DIY bucket. He drilled some holes in a bucket, 5-gallon, using that instead of his usual fabric pots. From the looks of it, he's got him in what looks like homemade trays, right?
Yeah, it looks like a lot of DIY going on here, which I love.
Yeah, it's very inventive, man. Like in this, doesn't look like stuff that's kind of marketed as grow equipment. You can do all this with just like, having a little tray, 5-gallon bucket with some holes in it. You water from the top, like we were talking about,
He may not even water from the top. He may water into the trays.
well, you can get to that
Well,
point,
maybe not.
G3. You can get to that point where you just realize that it's all the same and like, it's easier for you to just dump the water into the tray that they're sitting in, right? Takes a little time. At first, you're like, no, I gotta water the soil in a nice circle around the plant. Yeah, you should do that to start.
Yep.
First 3 weeks, too, technique to it. But again, this is not that tough. And again, he's getting great results from this. So I applaud what he is doing here.
And that is seriously serious business scaffolding.
Yeah, right? Sturdy ceiling. He's got his
Damn, I do wonder how much that weighs. Okay,
I
how much does
I
that
know.
weigh?
It can't weigh
You
that
can hang
much.
thousands of pounds from wrist ceiling if you do it right. Just gonna hit studs.
Super cool though. Way to put something he had probably to a new use. And yeah, look. This is a DIY earth box, man.
That's exactly what it is.
With like a piece of PVC pipe.
Yeah.
I wish we could get some input from you, K-pop, but pictures say 1,000 words, dude. I think you're doing some awesome stuff.
Yeah, it looks good, brother.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful plants.
Chime in
Wow.
in the Discord. Yeah. I just thought that was super cool. And again, like you don't need professional type stuff, man. You can do this just repurposed like lawn equipment. I don't know what that is, but it's awesome. It is awesome. So thanks, K-pop.
So good.
Thanks for being a Patreon, bud.
We
We
appreciate
appreciate
it.
all you guys.
Certainly do.
If
I
you
like
wish
your
to
setup a
become
lot.
one, check us out on Patreon. Yeah, right? I just like looking at stuff that's not like what I see all the time. You know what I mean? Everyone's got the same type of stuff. Everyone's got that AC Infinity. They get the Bundaroo. A good deal. Just like everyone else. Just like
Guilty
all
as
the
charged.
all
I don't get the
other
butter, but I
sheep.
have a shit ton of AC.
Listen, no, I'm just playing, of course. Like I can't even tell, man. I got a tent too. It's like when you're taking a picture of the inside of a tent, they're all the same.
They're all the same.
Who cares?
That's okay. I'm okay with being a basic bitch in certain parts of my growing because I'm really out there in
100%.
other parts. It's all about balance. Find your own style.
100%. 100%. But yeah, let's wrap it up, you guys. You want to just say goodbye for this week? Tell people we'll see them next week.
Yeah, thanks
I won't be
everybody
here
for tuning
next
in
week.
live.
We appreciate all the live watchers.
Hold on, I think we just glazed over that. G3 won't be here next week.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, what?
I won't be here next week.
Oh, whoa, fuck. Disaster.
Yeah.
All right, well, should we do... All right, we'll
We
talk
were
about it
gonna
off the show.
do a
We'll talk about it up there.
Monday
Wednesday?
show, maybe.
All right,
I
just-
think.
cool. We can
Stay
do that.
tuned.
Audience,
No,
be
just-
on your feet next week.
Yeah.
The live audience, I mean. The day might change, the time probably won't.
Correct.
The day will change.
The day will change. Probably
Um,
Monday.
Won't. But yeah, thank you guys. Both of you, Monster G3.
A
always a
pleasure as
pleasure.
always, sir, and thank you.
Yes, new growers, if you have any more questions for us, come on into the Discord. We're always happy to help. No question is too noobish for us, honestly.
We know some cool growers.
Right? We can help you. We promise. But you must promise me one thing, and that is that you don't get caught.